Susan here. Well, the wind is blowing 60 miles an hour in Kansas, so it's a good day for staying inside and doing some weaving. And I've been experimenting with weaving towels on my Union 36 loom. These are a couple that I've taken off. I had to fix a tension problem. And so this is the first time I've woven towels on the Union 36, and I'm experimenting with different threads and different color combinations. I'm a new weaver, so I'm not experienced with weaving towels, and I'm not experienced on the Union 36. So I'm just going to share some things that I've figured out. So I have this is the same warp on all these different towels, and I'm just experimenting with different colors and different ways of changing the thread. So you can kind of see. One of the things I'm doing for my hems is I'm using starch to hold my hems in place until I cut them apart and stitch them. I did have some problems with my selvages, and I think I'm going to buy a temple next time. One of the things that I did to give some variation in the weaving is vary the colors in the warp, and then also vary the amount of pics in a shed, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. And then also vary how many warps are together. So I have got to some of my warps are doubled up. You can kind of see that. So I'm going to refocus the camera. Okay, so on this towel, I think you can see my warp here. I've got this blue and kind of violet color, although it might look kind of pinkish on camera. And I'm doing sections of plain weave and then alternating them with sections where I've got 3 picks in the same shed, and then a single pick, and then 3. And so there's all different ways that you could vary your weaving of the weft in order to give more texture. I get jealous when I look at people that have multi-shaft looms and all the patterns they make. So I'm trying to experiment and see what can I do by simply varying the way that I put the weft in, or the colors of my weft and my warp. And I am weaving my towels. The warp is a 3-2, and then the weft I have used some places where I'm using the 3-2, some places where I'm using a single 5-2. This happens to be a doubled 5-2 that I have in the shuttle. I'm also using 8-2 that I've doubled, and I'm using like singles for my hems. So I'm trying all kinds of different things. And so in order to put the multiple threads in the shed, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, but this is all new territory for me. So I know there's a lot of new weavers out there that are interested in doing other things on their Union 36. So I just thought I'd kind of share. So all I'm doing is I open my shed and throw my shuttle. Gently press it in place, but I don't change the shed. And on the very outside warp, I have to loop over that so I can catch that outside warp. And I'm going to go right back through the same shed. Press that in place. Not changing my shed. Making sure I loop around and pick up this outside thread. Going back through the same shed with my weft thread, pressing into place. Now, for this pattern that I made up, I've been putting 3 picks in the same shed, but you could do 2, you could do 4, I mean, whatever seems to make sense to you. And now I'm going to change the shed. And on this one, I've been putting just a single pick in between the sections of the tripled weft. Change my shed. Make sure that I pick up this outside warp again. Okay, so I'm getting ready to put in a second group of 3 weft threads. So I changed my shed, here my shuttle, pinch over here on my selvage, angle my thread in. Keep the same shed because I'm going to do 3 picks, but I have to come over here on the outside and make sure I go around that outside warp thread in order to catch it when I go through. And sometimes you have to kind of work a little bit to make that nice and neat. Press it into place. Keeping the same shed because I have 1 more to go. Pick up that outside warp thread. And now, if I only want 3 in there, then I can change my shed, come back through, so really simple technique. The only thing you have to kind of pay attention to is, depending on where you come out with your weft thread, paying attention if you need to catch that outside warp. And that's all there is to it.